So we got Thomas Massie, and here it is. Like, I do not agree with Thomas Massie on many things that Thomas Massie believes, but I give full credit to Thomas Massie for standing up for these individuals. The other day, Thomas Massie blamed left-wing radicalism for being the cause of all violence in politics. I steadfastly disagree with that and can prove that through numbers, but there's not a single Trump supporter that can understand an actual graph or believes in any statistics at all. So yeah, just gonna leave it at that. But I will say this is I applaud Thomas Massie for standing on business. And Thomas Massie took Kash Patel there to the cleaners on this one.
Gentleman, yes, back.
Mr. Chairman, I have a unanimous consent request.
Gentleman's recognized.
So I've got 4 documents I'd like to introduce into the record. The first one is Jeffrey Epstein's 6 story played out for years in plain sight. And Acosta is quoted in here saying, "I was told Epstein belonged to intelligence and to leave it alone."
Acosta, Alex Acosta, who is part of Trump's administration, Secretary of Labor, right? Gave the sweetheart deal to Epstein in the original case in 2007, 2008, the one that he was originally convicted of with the non-prosecution clause that was given to him, that also allegedly Epstein assaulted a woman while out on work release while doing that time. Said, one more time, Thomas Massie? One more time on that one.
Epstein's 6 story played out for years in plain sight. And Acosta is quoted in here saying, "I was told Epstein belonged to intelligence and to leave it alone."
I was told Epstein belonged to intelligence and to leave it alone. That's from the guy who gave the sweetheart deal to Jeffrey Epstein in his original conviction in 2007 and 8.
The second document is entitled, "What Epstein's Bodyguard Warned About His CIA Connections." The third document is from Fox Digital. It's titled, "Epstein's Private Calendar Reveals Planned Meetings with Obama Admin Official, CIA Chief." And the last document is Wall Street Journal article that highlights Ehud Barak's 36 meetings with Jeffrey Epstein. He was the former Prime Minister of Israel and head of military intelligence for Israel. It may have held that title when he met Epstein, and then, yes.
Without objection, the gentleman will hold for a second. The gentleman from Maryland is recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Just one UC request. This is Judge Engelmeyer's decision from August in U.S. versus Epstein, stating the government's 100,000 pages of Epstein files dwarfs the 70-odd pages of Epstein grand jury materials.
I like that. You see that? That's bipartisanship right there. That is Thomas Massie is like, I got these that are going in here, and then Jamie Raskin's like, hold on, I got one more. You see that? I like that. That's what I want to see.
Without objection, the gentleman from Kentucky is recognized for 5 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Director Patel, I watched some of your Senate hearing yesterday when Senator Kennedy asked you, you've seen most of the files, who, if anyone, did Epstein traffic these women to besides himself? You replied, according to the transcript, there is no credible information that he trafficked them to anyone else.
Yep. So for all you mega people out there, Kash Patel is saying you're nuts. Kash Patel, Donald Trump's FBI director, is saying to your face that you are full of shit and you are lying. That's what he's saying. Those aren't my words. Those are his words. You guys want to hear him again? Let's get it one more time.
There is no credible information that he trafficked them to anyone else. You also...
That's what Kash Patel said. That's your dude. That's the guy who was telling you guys for years that the Epstein files existed and there's a client list and all of this shit. Him and J.D. Vance and Donald Trump, all these other people that are in his administration that claim that the Epstein files were real, they now say, you guys are the liars. You're the liars. They're saying there were no other clients.
Also said somewhere in the hearing and here today that the problem is that the case files are constrained by limited search warrants from 2006 to 2007, and that the non-prosecution agreement hamstrung future investigations. Those constraints only apply to Southern District of Florida. They do not apply to Southern District of New York, the location of the 2019 sex trafficking indictment, which produced many things, including a series of FD 302 documents. According to victims who cooperated with the FBI in that investigation, these documents in FBI possession, your possession, detail at least 20 men, including Mr. Jess Staley, CEO.
Naming names. And they said they were going to do this. They said Massie and Marjorie Taylor Greene. Once again, give credit where credit is due. Marjorie Taylor Greene, Thomas Massie, said they were going to start naming names, and Thomas Massie has now named two people. He named the billionaire donor to the Republican Party, and now he's naming this dude. So we're going to hear that one more time.
In that investigation, these documents in FBI possession, your possession, detail at least 20 men, including Mr. Jess Staley, CEO of Barclays Bank, who Jeffrey Epstein trafficked victims to, victims including minors such as Virginia Roberts Giuffre, may she rest in peace. That list also includes at least...
So there you go. Like, this is, like, he's saying this shit right there on the floor. Do you think that there is going to be anything that's done about this by Trump's administration or by the FBI? I'm willing to bet the answer is fuck no. You know why? Because all of those people are interconnected with each other. Oh, thank you for the $5, Fantradeath. Thank you for the $5. I could care less if the Epstein files were able to prove Hillary fucked Hitler as long as they showed what we already know, Trump is PDF file. Look, at the end of the day, I don't give two shits about what political party anybody comes from in the Epstein files. I don't fucking care. That's like, I mean, mind you, I'm the type of person I think political parties are fucking stupid in the first place. Like, politicians should be running on policies. This idea of Democrat or Republican is fucking tired. You should have to run on policy. You should not be able to get to hide behind the shield of your party's values. Parties do not represent values. People represent values. And I don't give a fuck. If there's a Democrat that is in those files, that person does not represent my values. I'm not in that fucking party. If it's a Republican that are in those files, I don't give a fuck because they don't represent my values. My values are my values. They're not a party's values. I do not virtue mirror with the rest of the people, either in my chat or that agree on certain subjects with me. My values are my values, and if you don't agree with my values, I just don't really fucking care. If you want to have a conversation about it, we can. We can talk about things. I like to talk about things. We might even come to some sort of agreement. But the one place we're never going to fucking agree is that if a person is within my party, that means that we are not going to prosecute them. I'm not part of that party. So.
At least 19 other individuals, minors such as Virginia Roberts Giuffre, may she rest in peace. That list also includes at least 19 other individuals, one Hollywood producer worth a few $100 million, one royal prince, one high-profile individual in the music industry, one very prominent banker, one high-profile government official, one high-profile former politician, one owner of a car company in Italy, one rock star, one magician, at least...
Fucking magicians, dude. Fucking magicians.
6 billionaires, including...
Magicians are always sus, gonna be honest.
Being a billionaire from Canada.
Let's get that one more time. Let's play it again.
May she rest in peace. That list also includes at least 19 other individuals, one Hollywood producer worth a few $100 million, one royal prince, one high-profile individual in the music industry, one very prominent banker, one high-profile government official, one high-profile former politician, one owner of a car company in Italy, one rock star, one magician, at least 6 billionaires, including a billionaire from Canada. We know these people exist in the FBI files. The files...
I don't care whether they're part of the country. I don't care if they come from other countries. I don't care if they're world leaders. I don't care if they're rock stars or fuck magicians. I'm sorry. I shouldn't be that mean. Some magicians are nice people. Penn and Teller, nice people. Fuck, that's gonna, like, I'm gonna regret that later. I'm gonna regret that later. I'm gonna regret it, ain't I? Fuck! Somebody right now is typing out in the comments, actually, Penn and Teller, fucking, you should hate them because of this. Yeah. Let's start naming them names, dog. Start naming them names. Chris Angel. No. Hey, I didn't say that, by the way. You guys can't be getting me to name names up here. I do not have the protection of Congress. I do not know of or have any evidence of any specific magician that has participated in crimes against humanity. I'm just saying, apparently there's at least one magician. I thought there would be more, to be honest.
That you control. I don't know exactly who they are, but the FBI does. Have you launched any investigations into any of these people, and have you seen these 302 documents?
Sir, I have asked my FBI agents to review the entirety of the Epstein files and bring forth any credible information, and we're working with Congress not only to divulge that information and produce it to you, but any investigations that arise from any credible investigation will be brought. There have been no new
Bro, he gave you a name.
Materials brought to me launching a new indictment.
So is the loophole here, or is it your assertion that these victims aren't credible, that the 302s maybe didn't produce credible statements that rise to a probable cause?
It's not my assertion, sir. It's the assertion of two different...
Donald Trump's. Donald Trump, it's the assertion of the President of the United States. That's what he's saying.
United States attorney's offices from 3 separate administrations who investigated those same materials in lifetime.
Or the 302 documents?
Yeah, and to act like the other administrations in some way wouldn't protect those very same people. This is what I'm saying. This is not a political party fucking thing. This is across all the lines. There are no lines when it comes to harming children. If you harm children, you are a fucking horrible human being, and there should be justice for those victims. So when you say shit like, well, other administrations didn't do anything about it, that does not in any way mean that you don't get to do anything about it. If it comes to light that other administrations protected these people as well, they should also face the music. That's the way this shit works. Like I said, I don't give a shit. Reset the whole goddamn thing. Like, if that means the globe has to go through a time of potential pain for a little bit to clean out the types of people that are doing these types of things to our children in this society, I'm totally fine with that. Fucking let's make it happen. I'll buy tickets.
Documents in the FBI's possession.
At 2 different United States attorney's offices from 3 separate administrations who investigated those same materials in lifetime.
Are the 302 documents in the FBI's possession?
They reviewed all that, yes, sir.
And so have you...
He's just like, I'm not going to answer. Like, so you're the FBI director, you're an all-knowing dude, you're keeping America as safe as America has ever been before. Historic speed. Whatever the fuck he said. A, B, C, D, E, F, G. All of that. But you don't know nothing about this case. You literally were doing a podcast for all of fucking time, grifting off of MAGA supporters this entire time, grifting like a king off of these people, just making them more mentally ill by the day. And then when you got in and you could have seen all the stuff that you've talked about all this time, you're like, nah, I don't want to. That's not my job. That's the defense. The defense is once you got to the point where you could actually see the information pertaining to these things, you said, no, it's not my job. I'm not going to look at it. Dude, anybody that buys that shit is fucking dumb.
I love the poorly educated.
Viewed those 302 documents where the victims name the people who victimized them?
If I personally know, but the FBI has.
So how can you sit here and in front of the Senate and say there are no names?
I said all.
I named one today.
I said we are not in the practice at the Department of Justice FBI of releasing victims' names. That is not what we do. We are also
He's not saying victims, dude. What is he talking about?
not in the habit of releasing incredible information. That's not what we do. But
Incredible information. Wouldn't it be uncredible? He said incredible. I think that word already exists in a different definition.
multiple authorities have looked at the entirety of what we have.
Okay, I got to move on here. Were you present when the AG had the White House event when she released the binders to social media influencers?
I was, yes.
So if you were
He said that all like awkwardly and sad. He's like, yes.
willing to meet with social media influencers who stood to benefit from the sensational and sad stories of these victims, will you meet with the victims as well?
The FBI will meet with anyone who has
He said the FBI will. He was like, fuck no. Nope. He's like, I'm not tall enough to ride that ride. Like, I don't want to get my ass whooped. Wow. What a fucking coward. Holy shit. This country is done.
information.
Will you personally meet with them?
The FBI and the professionals who are handling the cases will.
Were you
not a
instructed that it was
professional, guys.
important to release the documents to the Oversight Committee on the day of my introduction of the discharge petition to release these files?
I don't know what day that was, so no.
Well, they were released that day, and there were victims' names who weren't redacted because they were in such a rush, and the victims are not happy about that. Have you?
No, guys. He's like, he's doing a really good job. He's making sure there's no names in those files except for, well, those names. But like the biggest thing, guys, is to make sure those victims' names don't get released in those files. They just missed a couple. Jesus
investigated
Christ.
any of the CIA connections? Have you seen the CIA file on Jeffrey Epstein? And if you wanted to see it, would they show it to you?
Well, I can speak for the FBI, and that's presuming there's a CIA case file, and I've reviewed everything that the interagency, not I, the FBI, that was provided to us.
Would you be willing to look at the CIA file on Jeffrey Epstein?
If there is such a file, and if it has not already been turned over to the FBI will look at any new investigative leads.
Have you made any progress on the pipe bomb investigation January 6th? And have you made any progress on the motive of the Las Vegas shooter?
As to the first, it's an ongoing investigation, and we have made progress. As to the second, sir, I'll have to get back to you.
All right.
This is a fucking clown show. It's a clown show. Anybody that's taking this dude or anybody else in this administration seriously as far as getting something done in this country is dumb.
I love the poorly educated.
Thank you. I yield back.
Mr. Chairman, I have a unanimous
Gentleman
consent
yields back.
request.
Unanimous consent request from the gentleman from New York.
And can we just say one more time? The irony of Jim Jordan, a person who was alleged in a cover-up of sexual assault, is the person that is chairing this committee. It's like they do this shit on purpose. Seriously, it's like they do this shit on purpose. Thank you for the $2, Fanterdeath. The country is cooked and it's not global warming.
I ask unanimous consent to introduce an unsigned memorandum from July 7th, 2025 that says we did not uncover evidence that could predicate an investigation against uncharged third parties with the insignia of the Department of Justice and the FBI.
Without objection.
Jesus. These people are fucking buffoons. What am I doing here? No, I don't want to do that.
Gentleman.
I clicked it. These people are buffoons. Like, if you are seriously still backing these people up, I don't know what to tell you. You're not salvageable. Like, if you are still sitting here saying to yourself, that there is absolutely no way that Trump has any connection to these files. Like, I don't know what to say to you, because why would he do all this? Why would he call it a hoax? Why wouldn't he be meeting with these victims? He ran on this shit. It was his idea to run on these specific issues. And then as soon as he got your vote, just like he said, I only need your vote this one time and then I'll never need it again, he decided to just not do what he told you he was going to do. That's weird too, because I'll give you this, is Trump does try to do the things that his supporters want him to. He does try to deport every brown person from this country. 100%. He does give tax cuts to the ultra wealthy. It's weird to me that you guys voted for that, but he did do that. Donald Trump, like I've said this before, he says whatever thoughts come into his head. He literally told you guys that he was going to bring people to justice. He was going to bring the Epstein files to a head, and all these people are going to go to jail, all the people you don't like. And now he's saying, A, they don't exist, but B, if they do exist, also that people that are in them are not bad people. That's a little bit of a sus take. It's a little weird. It's a little weird. Thanks for watching. If you like this video, please like and subscribe and hit that notification bell, and check out that video on the screen now.